Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to another off-stream recording here. This time I saw two of my favorite players matching up on the ladder. We've got Max, TheMax, here in the red playing as the Lithuanians. He landed up against Vivi, playing as the Britons. Britons, may or may not know, arguably my favorite Civ. Definitely don't play them very often because they just aren't very good. But in concept and as a kid, Britons were always my favorite, so I'm always down to root for the Britons here. But we're here on Mega Random, and oh boy, have we got a true Mega Random experience here. It's so random. We've got two lakes. It is literally 4 lakes, but with only 2 lakes. That seems to be the entire generation. It almost looks like that map that has the gold in the middle. It's like 4 lakes, but with the gold in the middle, but it doesn't have the gold in the middle. It just has a big open nothingness in the middle. So we'll see how it goes here. Lithuanians should be way better on a map like this. The extra food they start with means theoretically, although I suppose it depends on how early you scout the water, but theoretically, Lithuanians should be able to get onto the water with the dock, get their fish started earlier than the Britons can. But that's just because they can send more to wood earlier because they start with the extra food. So if you don't see the water in time, then obviously you can't really adjust your build around that fact. But oh, and Vivi has not scouted the water yet, actually. Ooh, this is scouting difference, I suppose. He's going to see it now. But Max does indeed beat him to the shoreline. There's not a ton of fish out here, but Max loves a good fish boom, so would not be surprised at all to see Max end up with like 30, 40 fishing ships in this one little pond. Yeah, I'm interested to see both these players have some out-of-the-box thinking when it comes to different civs, different maps. Max, very good on these hybrid-y maps, but Vivi is too. I'm curious to see what the approach is here from both players. For now, Vivi's going to get his dock going. Is going to be like 2 fishing ships behind, roughly. But that's about what it would have been if both players knew about the water as soon as they loaded into the game anyway. Lithuanian diff. So not as bad as it could have been. I'm glad Vivi did find the fish when he did. Is this a second dock? Ooh, early walls. Okay, so Vivi's going to big wall in his water. Doesn't want Max to do any sneaky shenanigans. A lot of the Finnish players, I don't know for sure if Max also does this, but I know it's Ant-Man, I believe, always goes forward on 4 lakes and docks his opponent's pond early. Lake. Pond lake. I say pond. If it's called 4 lakes, it's obviously a lake. But I don't know if Max is necessarily known for that, but Max will definitely go forward on you if you give him the opportunity. So Vivi safeguarding against that a bit. Walled his villager out. I guess it doesn't necessarily matter unless... Okay, well, Loom's not in yet, so if Max did happen to come down here, it could have been an easy Vil snipe. That does not happen, though. Honorable Max as well. Took the sheep, but has not actually stolen them. He's just leaving them there. So if Vivi does end up scouting his base, he could find those. Max is a lot of things. He's not a lamer. Not on ladder games, anyway. 5 fishing ships for Max. 5th one coming out for Vivi. Max is already on the way up to the feudal age. Vivi's just chilling out, looking like an FC build for Vivi. Which is probably fine. It's a pretty easily walled map. So if Max opens scouts or anything, which is probably what you want to do with the Lithuanians here, with the fish boom especially, probably not going to find too much damage with that. So I don't mind the FC approach from Vivi. Okay, Vivi's housed here rather badly though. Never mind, he completed a house. Still going. I actually expected him to just click up there, but he is still on that grind. He's going to click up after this vill, so it's going to be a 25 villager up, plus the fish. Okay, his fishing ships have not scouted the entire water, so they're getting a little idle, but there's still plenty out there. Feudal Age comes in for Max as Vivi clicks up. And it is indeed going to be a stable for Max to start out with. Still has a lot of sheep available to him. And he's already getting started on the fish traps. Let's go. I love a good Max fish boom. Best fish boomer in the game, Max. Not necessarily in a like Black Foresty way. But man, if you've ever seen Max on Nomad in a later game situation, I've seen Max with 50 fishing ships before on Nomad. In team games, specifically. I don't think he would get that high in a 1v1, but you never know. Alright, Vivi's going to complete the last few sections of his wall here, just as the scouts arrive. But guess what? It's not just scouts from Max. I said Max is not afraid of going forward with stuff. He's going to drop a tower right on the outside of these walls. This is the correct play, by the way, generally speaking. Obviously, it depends, but generally, if you go up to Feudal Age and then realize your opponent is just walling up and going Castle Age, bringing vills forward and towering is usually the correct play. Because it forces investment while they're trying to go up to Castle Age. So even if they do end up pulling off the FC, ideally you delay things so much that they can't FC. But even if they can, you're forcing them to invest in towers, forcing them to invest in, you know, whatever. And maybe they won't be able to afford what they want in the next stage. So defensive tower here from Vivi. Both means he can't sell his stone to get up to the Castle Age. And if he did go up to Castle Age, he couldn't make additional town centers. Max goes for this archery range, and Vivi's going to come out here with the villagers. He's going to punch down that initial tower. That's fine. Lots of scouts here from Max. So Vivi has to be a little bit careful if he really wants to come out here and contest the archery range, because this is a lot of military. The scouts aren't in position, though. So it's not a great start to this fight for Max. He loses a villager, but his scouts are going to get stuck in. There is a couple spears out for Vivi that are making this fight awkward, and Max is actually losing villagers rather quickly. He's losing scouts rather quickly. Great fight for Vivi. Yeah, amazing fight for Vivi. Look at all the red. One scout goes down for Vivi? That was crazy. I guess he lost at least one spearman as well. I didn't see where that spearman went down, but Vivi's going to wall in the archery range now. One archer has been produced, but that's all. The archer can't really come out here. Felt like Max should have taken a good fight there, but this did not happen. Max not the most micro-intensive player in the game. He kind of takes the yo approach of just kind of patrolling stuff in. Okay, so the forward gets cleared up, but Vivi was, like I said, the tower, the forward villagers forced Vivi to invest into scouts. So he was trying to go for that FC, I'm pretty sure. He almost had the res for it, but was forced to drop the tower, the stable, make some scouts. And now it's actually going to be Max that clicks up to the Castle Age first. Scouts arrive forward for Vivi. Max is big walled. Lots of palisades, though. So, has to be a little careful that these scouts don't push through. House. Archer is going to be sending alarm bells into Vivi's headset for the next 50 minutes as it slowly plinks away at this palisade wall. That's kind of annoying. Marketplace in the back for Vivi. He can click up after that, but he's going to be close to a minute behind. Spearman trades off decently against the scouts and forces them away. Vivi clicks up. It is indeed a full minute behind. As Max goes for the stone walls. All right, so yes, this is exactly what I wanted to see. Max stone walling. Double dock already and already getting the fishing traps going pretty well. There's still a decent amount of food to take out here. A couple hundred at least, but I like that he's getting the fish trap started early. This is the Sato special, by the way. Sato really popularized this way of playing on 4 lakes. Just big walls at the front. Go for a giga fish boom in the back. Never have to make a farm, ideally. And play it out there. You do need a lot. You need a lot of fishing ships on fishing traps. If you're, especially the Lithuanians, because basically everything they want to make costs food. So you really need a tremendous fish boom in order to really have enough food to do everything you want to do. Max hits Castle Age. He's going to have enough for a castle here pretty soon. But we'll see if he starts off with a TC first. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think that's a good idea. Worth noting, Britons do not have particularly good cavalry. They don't get bloodlines, they don't get hussar, they don't get paladin. So long term, these scouts get massively outscaled by the equivalent Lithuanian unit. Immediate second and third TC for Vivi. This is kind of what you have to do with the Britons, right? Britons feel quite bad in 1v1s until you can really... They're almost like the Goths. They're like the not the counter Goths, but they're like the reverse Goths. Kind of. Inverse Goths. Is that what I want to say? I'm looking back to my mathematical minor here, and I'm thinking opposite, inverse. Anyway, I'm making the equivalency because both the Goths and the Britons don't have a lot of early game bonuses per se, but if they can get really boomed up, if they can hit the late game fully boomed, they start to become a bit of an issue depending on their opponent. Vivi goes for the 4th town center, so he wants a big, big boom on land. He is getting his fish boom set up as well. Don't know if we'll see a second dock added in for Vivi or not. Britons don't need quite as much food, right? And we have to invest in farms. If we're going to 4 TC boom, we just don't have the fishing eco set up in time. So, I don't hate that. Monk's coming out here for Vivi. Loses one of them, saves the other. You do want to deny as many relics from the Lithuanian player as possible. I will say, relics are pretty favorable to Vivi. This one should be free. This one is also probably going to be pretty easy to take. And the other 3 are kind of neutral between the 2 players. So, generally, my personal rule of thumb when the Lithuanians are involved is if they can get 2 relics, it's fine. If they can get 3, that's probably good. Obviously, more than that is amazing, and less than that is terrible. But we'll see how many Vivi can deny. He's going to snag a relic here. A couple latest around the field. Vivi trying to body block. Cannot pull it off, though, so another monk goes down. Doesn't really want to take the fight. Light Cav versus latest either. Why are these villagers coming out here? I'm not sure. This should be a conversion, and it is. Can he pull back the monk? He can. Monk saved until the next one comes in. Except, oh, look at this. The blocks. Blocking the latest as well. Monk does go down. That was good, though. That was good micro from Vivi. Got a lot of damage in on these units for free as they were trying to dive on the monks. Does lose 2 villagers behind this now. I don't know why. That has to be a mistake, I think. Another villager goes down. Why were so many villagers out here? I think it was just a gather point mistake off of this TC. Felt like all the vills were heading out when maybe they did not want to. Third TC for Max. It's on the stone. Trying to go latest. Latest is an overbearing unit as the game goes on. It's kind of, honestly, it's not a broken unit generally speaking, because I think it takes a while to really mass them up, make them feel great. But if you can like get into a late game with 4 castles, 3 or 4 castles just spamming latest, they feel pretty impossible to stop because they kind of just beat everything 1-to-1. Even though cost effectively, like camels, halves, and stuff can trade well, I think 1-to-1 the latest just kind of beats everything. And usually it's enough to just take 1 or 2 big fights and then win the game. At the higher levels, anyway. Another monk being caught out here. Can't escape. Castle trying to come up here for Vivi. Might feel forced to take not the best fight in the world here. And he does indeed take not the best fight in the world here. But with the next monk coming out, latest are forced back and the castle's going to complete. Are we going full longbow here? Imperial Age is clicked from Vivi. Okay. And longbow is coming out. I would be so far down if Vivi went full longbow here. I don't think that's good, but I think I would like to see it. And look at this. This is, oh, you can see. Perfect. Getting a little sloppy with this last dock. He's defaulting back to old habits of, this is actually 2 tiles away, I think. So slightly, ever so slightly inefficient on this last dock as he's trying to micro down the monks and stuff. But the fish boom is coming very nicely for Max. 35 fishing ships. I said 30 or... I said I wouldn't be surprised at 30 fishing ships. I maybe was underestimating Max. He's going to go up to 40. We're trying to do a no-farm game here with the Lithuanians. It's going pretty good so far. But Imperial Age is going to hit in 1.5 minutes for Vivi. Lightcav continuing to duel in the deserts. Max trying to snipe monks, but I think Vivi finally gets his first relic in. Worth noting, Max has yoinked the relic on the right-hand side. Oh, and he also yoinked the relic on the left-hand side. So he got both of the... I mean, technically they were the 2 closest relics to him, but they felt like neutral relics. Forward castle here from Vivi. Max, look at the game sense. He sees nothing. He sees absolutely nothing here, but he's dropping the outpost because he has a spidey sense going off in his brain, telling him that something might be coming for him. And with this outpost, should be able to see the castle. He does. Bodkin coming in. We're up to 7, almost 8 longbows. That's definitely not enough to kill 12 latest. I'm just going to throw that out there. Ooh, Vivi might be able to snipe this monk before it gets back. He can't because of the castle. We got to fight here. We got to take the fight to get the castle up. Pikemen evaporate real fast to the latest, and the longbows are going to go down behind that, but the castle does complete. That's the most important thing. I think Vivi's probably fine losing some army here, but I am sad to see those longbows go down because I don't know if we see too many more of them now. You got to get a good mass of longbows up. Ballistics on the way. Trebs on the way out for Vivi. More barracks. Britons do get Halb. I wouldn't hate to see it. You need all the help you can get against these latest. Max is 30 seconds away from Imperial Age himself. But the pressure's at the front of Max's base. I keep looking down here thinking something's happening. It's just this stupid forward. Still slowly getting cleared up by a couple pikes and the tower. I just keep getting drawn to those blinks. All right, Treb push begins at the front. Another castle here. Vivi really trying to force the issue. You kind of have to with the Britons. Like I said, they don't have great cavalry, so you kind of have to force the game into one central push. That's why they're a great Black Forest civ, because the map itself forces you into one central push. You have to make your own... You have to draw your own battle lines, I suppose I should say, when you're the Britons on an open map. TC's going to go down here as well. Each castle that falls for Max is a big loss when you're trying to go latest. Tower shields coming in. Possibly means we can just spam skirmishers to decent effect here. Castle completes. Trebs move forward. Second castle going down. Tower shields will complete, but the castle will fall. That's the only castle Max still has on the field. So I guess latest, not in Max's long-term plans here after all. Okay, he's trebbing down the first castle from Vivi as his castle falls. No Warwolf yet. So this is not an automatic win, but the latest raids, look at this. Latest in the eco. And this is really tough. This is really bad. Max has lost... Or sorry, Vivi has lost 12 villagers right now. Let's see what it is at the end of this. His eco is getting annihilated. 20 plus villagers having to evacuate that wood line. Pikemen now halbs trying to stop the raids, but they go down to the latest pretty quickly. Some of the fishing boom has been impacted back here. Vivi did add in the second dock, but it's going down now. Villagers continue to fall. We're up to 40! We've lost over 30 villagers to this latest raid. And counting. Oh, Jesus. Quick check-in at the front. Vivi has won the Treb War. Skirmisher is out. We'll see how that goes. We're trying to continue the push, but it's tough to have to respond to this. Is that it? Okay. We only lost 50 to 60 villagers in that raid. That's fine. Surely it's fine to lose 50 to 60 villagers in that raid because the push continues. Monastery down for Max, though does not even have those two relics. He's getting Winged Hussar, and look at the switch coming in. I said Britons don't have good cavalry. Vivi says, I don't need good cavalry, I just need good enough cavalry. He's going Cavalier, Briton Cavalier. Slowly getting the upgrades for them. Skirms are actually pushing this back right now as the Trebs continue to move in and annihilate production buildings. Max trying to rescue the relics to somewhere else, but where? He doesn't have a monastery yet. He's building a castle with one villager back here, getting a monastery up. Not the most effective castle in the world back there at the edge of the world. Cavaliers show themselves. Final armor on the way. Max has nothing to deal with this. He's only got skirms, I guess a couple monks, but I don't think that's going to be enough. The switch was huge. Giga brain play from Vivi. Switching into the Cavalier here. Max just does not have anything to deal with this, and the push continues. Max trying to spread his eco out, but the raids are already coming in on the sides. Max does have a sneaky little base set up to the right of Vivi's, but it's mostly skirmishers, and a couple of Cavalier can just rotate over here and clear this up, and Max calls the GG. 65 to 17 eco KD, 115 to 95 regular KD, and Max loses. Wow. Losing with the better KD, the way better eco KD. But the central push was just too strong. Vivi switching back into longbows. Giga Chad dropping TCs in the middle. And the 43 fishing ships were not enough to save Max. He went 5 dock fish boom in the back of his base. Was not enough. Alright, well. This is how you have to play Britons, apparently. Just do a casual 4TC boom with the fish boom as well. Giga boom up, and the only thing that you need to make Britons good is to not play into their strengths at all. Just go Cavalier. It's fine. Go Monk Cavalier with the Britons. And you too can win games with the Britons. Oh boy. Alright, GG's. That was fun. I think I'm leaning into this a bit more. This was another fun game. And so I think I might continue doing some off-stream stuff. Some YouTube exclusives. That's how I should package it, not off-stream stuff. YouTube exclusives. You can only see these games by subscribing to me on YouTube. All right, guys. Thanks so much for being here again. Hope you have a great rest of your day or night or whatever it is wherever you are. And I'll see you around, all right? Peace.